I think we got underestimated today. Okay, and it's why we play sports. If the game was decided beforehand, why would we play? Okay, no one can measure the heart. If you play with a big heart and you play for the people around you and give it your all, good things usually happen. That's all that happened today. We weren't perfect, but we played hard. We trusted each other. We got contributions from everybody. I mean, hell, I got 8 people. We have 8 freaking people, and we go win that game. I know. Nobody in this damn building except us expected us to win. Shame on everybody. We just spanked you in church, told you, or taught you a lesson. Everybody. Yeah, I'm pissed because I got a good team.
Ben Rosoff.
Coach, just how proud are you of Kennedy tonight stepping into that starting role and leading the team in scoring?
Yeah, she was terrific, and she's had some very good games leading into this, and she put together a complete game today at both ends of the floor. Really happy for her. When you get your opportunities, today was a big opportunity for her, and I think she had enough games and minutes under her belt to feel confident, and really happy for Kennedy. She's a good player. She's got a good mind for the game, and she played very well today.
Reggie Edwards.
Was that me, Ryan, you called on?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear it for a second. Coach, tonight there was multiple players really stepped up. Kennedy stepped up. Tierra had a good game. This was one of the best performances Kathleen Doyle's had on the season. So many players really stepped up and played their best game of the season tonight. How much of that had to do with the other night's game, and then really having a chip on your shoulder coming into tonight?
Nothing to do with the other night. It had nothing to do with the other night. It had to do with why we're here. We're here to win basketball games. And we're a team that's still learning how to gel together and how to be a team and how to finish and how to play 40 minutes. All those things are, they just don't come innately to you. It's a new coaching staff, a lot of new players, and we're starting to gel. But we believed in what we were doing. We believed we could win the game, and we did enough things well that we talked about doing. We executed our game plan and won the game. So I think going into this, I told everybody in the locker room before the game, we need everyone. We need everybody in this locker room to step up and play, and that's what they did.
Erica Ayala.
Hi, Coach. This is Erica Ayala with Locked On Women's Basketball. I'd like to ask you particularly about, what were the conversations happening on the bench and with the team from the third quarter on, because Seattle started making a run and ultimately your team was able to, as you said, get the win.
I don't understand. What do you mean, the conversations on the bench?
Well, I'm just curious. As Seattle's coming back, what were some of the things that either you, the other coaches, or some of the players were doing to steady the team to make sure that you were able to get the win?
Yeah, we were doing what all good teams do. We understood that they have a lot of pride over there, and they were going to make a run, and they were going to make adjustments. They started being much more aggressive, extending their defense. And we just talked about calmly spreading the floor. We had multiple ball handlers, so it wasn't going to be an issue of one person feeling the burden of getting the ball across half court. I mean, they made us play a little bit differently, and I give our players a lot of credit for, we got one day to prepare for this game, and you got to do some things differently because Seattle's defense is very good. It's different than other teams in this league. And so, you don't have tons of time to think about it, get ready for it. You just got to play. And I think our players did that. So second half, we just talked about playing steady, understanding they're going to be more aggressive. They're going to probably do more trapping and hard hedging, and how we respond to that. We talked about how do we respond to that. I'm not going to tell you what we said, but that was really what we talked about. And also, again, just trying to keep fresh bodies out there because everybody's playing hard, them included. They played hard. They knew they were in a game. If they didn't know at first, they certainly knew by the second half. And they did what you would expect a really, really good team to do. They came after us, and they went to Jewel Lloyd a lot. And we just stayed steady, with, again, an eight-player roster at this point. I think it was a tremendous gut check by our players to play as hard as they did and together as they did for 40 minutes.
Ben Rosoff, got another one.
Yeah, Coach, obviously Jewel was able to get hers tonight, but how were you able to make things very difficult on Brianna tonight from the field?
Well, she didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but we just tried to contest shots and, not give them easy stuff. They got a little bit of easy stuff down the lane, but you can't take everything away. I mean, I was very concerned about Sammy Whitcomb all game long. Didn't want to give her an opportunity to get going. She had 8, but, she had to work pretty hard to get those. She was 0 for 2 from the three-point line. That was by design. So I think taking her and out of the three-point scoring, and even Clark, we talked about not letting them get those kind of baskets. If they were going to score, they had to do it differently. And I thought that Stewie, obviously 5 for 18 isn't her best game. She missed some. She just missed. They're makeable. Others, I thought we made it difficult for her. So, our guys gave us great play. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in double figures. Everybody scored. I said we were going to need everybody, and everybody stepped up. So, I'm really happy for our players. They worked as hard as it could to get this win.
Cam got another one.
Yeah, and you talked about using everyone, Coach. Again, you had some lineups with Kennedy Burke and Kathleen Doyle and Lauren Cox, just for all these players to come together and to play when, again, you guys are playing every other day. They don't have a lot of time to play together. Just how were they able to focus in and, again, come together the way they did today?
Well, in our walkthrough, in our one practice yesterday, we just talked about how Seattle defends and the kind of things that we could do without just putting in something entirely new. How do we tweak what we do to affect how they're defending us? And I think that gave our players confidence when they saw that they could score. Fortunately for us, we have people that can shoot the ball. They demonstrated that tonight. Kennedy demonstrated why she's on this roster. Kathleen Doyle, you saw her probably have one of her best games thus far, and she made some big shots. She's capable of that. This is a Big Ten Player of the Year. The kid can play. She's young, and she's going to keep learning. But she did what we asked her to do. I thought Tiara battled hard and made life miserable for them in the post. She missed some makeable shots, but she kept battling. She made it tough in the paint. She rebounded. She have a double-double. Candace rebounded. Everybody just worked. For us to out-rebound them by 16, look at the two rosters. Look at who we're talking about. We out-rebound them by 16. That takes tremendous heart and effort and just hunger to get it done. A lot of performances. What can you say? A lot of good performances.
Hey, Kelsey, we just got done with the coach. She was pretty fired up after this win. She talked about feeling underestimated, that you guys were coming in against one of the top teams in the league. Do you feel like maybe some people underestimated you guys and this was kind of maybe a statement win, so to say?
I would like to think that it's a statement win to show that we belong. I think we're one of those teams where we can only get better, and that win like this is a statement win for us. We've obviously lost to Seattle in the past, really dominant team. They're good for a reason. They're amazing for a reason. But we compete. We lace up like everybody else.
Reggie Edwards.
I feel like a lot of things really clicked in so many ways for you guys. You guys held the lead for the majority of the game. But right before halftime, when you hit that jumper right at the buzzer, how much did that really help put you guys over the hump and really help with the confidence and help you guys secure this win?
Oh, it was amazing. I think it was one of those things where I know for myself, nothing was really going in. It's kind of out of the loop, so it felt good to know that we was going in on a high note in the halftime. I think for us, that was almost a momentum swing for us too, because we knew that we know how great they are. We know how amazing each individual player is. So we knew that shot right there would help us come out in the third quarter. We knew that we would have to step it up a notch because we knew they would step it up 10 times more. So it was good.
Ben Rosoff.
Kelsey, with Tiffany being out tonight and Kennedy having to step into the lineup, how proud were you of her tonight?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I think her ability to crash the glass, her ability to hit shots, it's all. I believe in everybody on my team, so I've never doubted KB for a second. I think Bees, I call her Beezy. So for Bees to come in on Tiff's behalf and play the way she did, it's amazing. I support her. I love her as a teammate, as a friend, and I always tell her play your game. Whatever that is, do that. I think she did that very, very well today.
Wait, what do you call her? What's your nickname for her?
Beezy. So
Okay.
yeah, last year we had Banaja, and they was calling her B, and then we was calling her KB, and I kept getting too mixed, so I just start calling her Beezy.
Yeah, Kennedy, tonight was a huge game for you, obviously a career game for you. How much you had an amazing game, definitely. How much pressure did you put on yourself to really, especially with Tiffany not being able to play, you stepping into that starting role, how much pressure did you put on yourself to really perform and step it up a level tonight?
I didn't put any pressure on myself at all. I know what I can do, and Coach always says when you get called, you just got to be ready, and I feel like I was ready, but I think tonight was just fun because we just played together. I mean, when something went wrong, we didn't have our heads down. We just came together and be like, hey, we're good. So, I mean, that feels good. So.
Ben Rosoff.
Yeah, Kelsey. Sorry, Kennedy. First question for you. How long before the game did you find out you were going to start tonight?
I found out yesterday during film. We had like a kind of a long team film session just to kind of discuss what we need to work on, what we need to improve in. And that was the moment where I found out that I was going to start. And I was like, okay, well, I got to step up. So, yeah.
And then you made a couple buckets down the stretch as they were cutting the lead closer and closer in the fourth quarter. Just wondering, what was the mindset as they were kind of making that run in the fourth quarter and you guys were able to eventually stave them off?
Obviously, they were pressuring us. They were playing the passing lanes. But I think the main thing for us is that we stayed calmed no matter what. And even though they did have that pressure, we still moved the ball pretty well. Everyone touched the ball. When everyone touches the ball, we always get a good shot. And that's what happened. And it made us win the game.
Thank you, Kennedy.
No problem.
Reggie, got another one?
Yeah, tonight was definitely a fun game to watch. You've got a game where Kelsey really didn't really hit her stride till right before halftime. Tiffany's not playing, a lot of players not in, but a lot of the younger players like yourself, Kathleen, Julie really stepped it up and took on that. How important is that, and how exciting is that to have that happen, especially against a team like Seattle?
I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, we only have 8 players, so when you come in the game, you have to be ready, and every single person showed that. And it was just so much fun. I mean, the whole game, it was just a lot of fun. Even though there were some lows, we kept our heads up high. And I mean, the results showed. So I'm just so happy. Yeah.
Erica Ayala.
Thank you. Kennedy, your coach came in and was pretty fired up with us. I'm just curious, post-game, what the locker room was like and, what the message was from the coaching staff to the team.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, basically she was saying, for Seattle, you got to play the whole team. You can't sit. I mean, obviously she didn't want Super to not sit. She wanted the whole team. And the fact that it was, I don't know, it's kind of like a slap in the face, I guess. So she was basically saying, hey, if you're going to give us everyone, you can't leave out one. I mean, because we were ready regardless. Even if Super did play, I mean, it showed. I mean, we were ready. We only had 8, but everyone showed up. So.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that, obviously you were able to hold Seattle overall, but Jewel Lloyd had a pretty dynamic game for Seattle. Just going off of what you were able to control and how you were able to withstand the pressure, but also knowing that Jewel Lloyd dropped 35. What would you like to see from the team moving forward that you can glean from this win tonight?
I mean, if we just play together, I mean, good things will always happen. I mean, when everyone touches the ball on the floor, we always get a good shot, like I said earlier. If something goes wrong, we can't have our heads down. We got to pick it back up. I mean, next play mentality, that's going to be a huge thing for the rest of the season. So if we keep doing that, we'll be fine.
And Natalie, Coach talked earlier about how she had talked to the team about how important it was for everybody to play together and everybody to kind of step up. game against a team like Seattle, you had one of your best games of the season, and a lot of the younger players really stepped up as well. As one of the veteran players, how important is it to see those younger players kind of take that load and play one of the best games they've had this year as well?
First of all, I'm really proud of our team to be able to come in today with the fight that we did. When you have 8 players, this is your only choice, is you either come out hard, you come out strong, or you go home and you can sit on the bench. So for us today, the fight that we played with, the grit that we played with was really important, both for our confidence and for us to get this win tonight. I think they underestimated us, and I'm really glad that we were able to push through that and focus on playing fever basketball and what we do well. We had a lot of young players step up tonight, and I'm really proud that we didn't look at who we were playing or the name on the other jersey. We just focused on what we were going to do well and how we were going to win.
Team, you have anything?
Yes, Natalie, again, you two talked about the different players coming together. Again, the combinations with Kennedy and Kathleen and yourself and Lauren, you guys probably don't spend that much time on the court together, but again, to play as a team in a game like this, what does it just say about, just how together you guys were today, and just, again, how you guys are willing to play like a team in such adverse circumstances?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult, especially when you have a schedule like the one we do. When you only have 8 players, you can't even go 5-on-5. So the real importance is us focusing on the details in the opportunities that we do get on the court. So how we've been able to rotate in practice with only 8 players actually, I think, benefit us in this situation, because we've been able to mix around and get different lineups and talk through things. I think being able to have a 3-way switch between me, Kennedy, Candace, and Lauren, whoever's on, that helps as well. But the uniqueness of us as individual players, I think, is what makes us stronger. We scored on many different ways today, and we made shots. And I think given the opportunity to the young players to prove themselves today, and they really stepped up to the plate, and I'm just really proud of our group.
And Rosoff.
Hey, Natalie. I'm just curious. I mean, obviously, Jewel Lloyd got hers tonight, but what were you guys able to do to make things kind of difficult on Brianna Stewart?
Like I just mentioned about the 3-way switch, I think it helped, and just really trying to stay mobile. We know that she's a great shooter. If she gets hot, then it could be a problem. So from early on, we were just trying to step up to her and make sure that we had length on her, between me, Candace, Lauren. Kennedy was guarding her sometimes. So it was hard for her to get a beat or get a rhythm. And it actually helped us having Sue Bird out, because that's one less snake that we got to head of the snake that we got to focus on. So it was great for us to be able to take off some of their other threats. I mean, Jewel got hers, and she worked for those buckets though. They were tough buckets that she was making, but I think we did a great job on trying to focus on taking Brianna out of the game.
Got time for 2 more. Pat Boylan.
Nat, can you give us an idea of the challenge of what this season has been like for you, going down with the injury, trying to get your legs back under you, and then where you feel like right now? That felt like kind of a signature game for you, and obviously a great win for the team.
Yeah, it was really tough because I came into the season with the mentality that I wanted to be here. Our entire team wanted to be here, and we wanted to make sure that we were all together and competing. And so when I was sidelined with an injury, it was difficult, especially mentally, to be removed from the game in a circumstance where it's already hard to be here. But so the last couple games, I just trying to work to get my legs under me. And then a game like this, a game that's dynamic, a game that we're sharing the ball, a game that we are threats on multiple levels, is the game that I love. I think we played smart basketball today. We took advantage of different mismatches or different reads. We had a couple plays where, they couldn't guard Kelsey Mitchell coming off a stagger. So I really just felt comfortable today, and hopefully we keep this up and grab a couple more wins here this week.
Last one from Erica Ayala.
Thank you. Natalie, I wanted to ask you, you've seen a lot of ups and downs with this Indiana team in the last few years, and this is such, a heightened season for so many different reasons. Your coach obviously was very fired up with us, feeling that, maybe Indiana was taken for granted coming into this season, coming into this game. But I want to ask for you, looking at the progression over the years and over this season in particular, what makes you, what makes this win stand out when you look back on the journey?
I mean, even being here and gaining the experience that we have in this short period of time, you can see things piecing together. And we were definitely down. We're down to 8, but we're not out. Don't count us out. And I think that confidence came from Coach Stanley before in the pregame, and that confidence and that that's all we had was 8, but that's all we needed. And I think that mentality really pushed us to come out strong today. And we've always had the pieces. We've just been young, and we're still young, and we're still growing, and the experience that we're gaining in both the wins and the losses, I think is why we've been slowly being able to piece it together. So definitely don't count us out, because that grit and that fight will always be there. So if you sleep on us, then you can ask Seattle what happened.